spite of the 30% dissatisfaction amongst the people at the time. And he ultimately now began to teach Islam on a luxury basis. Meaning, look, oh, you don't have to obey the law. Let's reinterpret it. He started teaching on a luxury basis. Meaning, oh, you don't have to, discipline yourself like that. This righteousness that these black folks, talk about and are living under, is it really good? Isn't there another way? This righteousness, let's reinterpret it. And he was able to get certain people to listen by teaching Islam on a luxury basis. So he was able to get people to listen. And Mr. Yaqub was able to ultimately now gather some 60,000 followers. Now, Elijah Muhammad said there were so many of them that they began to lock them up because of what they was teaching and what they was doing. And once they filled up all the jails, they called Mr. Yaqub in and said, look, you're that Yaqub that's been preaching around here. Yes, I am. He said, look, let me go with my people and we'll leave you. And they said, okay, we'll let you go out on the Isle of Pilam, which is mentioned in your Bible under the name of Patmos. Right now, if you go to Patmos, situated off in the Aegean Sea, they have ancient ruins there, and no one knows what they are. We know exactly what they are, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us what those ancient ruins are. And I'm about to teach you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Mr. Yaqub took his 60,000 followers and they kicked them out of what we call the Middle Eastern area. And the 60,000 followers, were exiled to the Isle of Pilar, Patmos in your Bible. And then Mr. Yaqub went about the work of grafting by channeling the recessive or the brown germ. He gave strict instructions to all of those who were to be his agents in producing this unalike man. Those instructions was, if you get a brown baby, you tell your parent, that baby you keep alive. He said, if you get a black baby, because black comes in numbers of shades. That's another subject. Black don't just come in black, but ebony, onyx. These are shades of black.
Yes, sir.
Think about this now. You got shades of black. Well, how can it be? Because of the depth of the color. Because black is not a color. It is the essence of all color. Well, it's not a color. So you have various shades black and then various shades of black. So if there was a lighter skinned baby, meaning a brown baby, he said, you keep that baby alive. And tell the parents when you got a dark skinned baby, you tell the parents, say, look, this is an angel baby. We're going to have to take this baby because this baby's going to go to heaven. And now Elijah Muhammad said they would take and prick the soft spot of the brain of the babies and kill the babies. And then ultimately burn the babies. And he said over a 200-year period, you had nothing but the brown babies. He said some of them left and went up into what they call China and began to inhabit those areas and began to intermingle and breed with those in what you call China. Yes. He said 200 years after that, you had only what they call, the red or yellow. He said in 200 years after that, you produced white by using the same method of killing the black baby and keeping the white baby alive. Now, I gave you some principles that you see still in your society today. Number one, the playing with steel. The two pieces of steel. Right to the day the Caucasian is still playing with steel. He built his world with steel. Everything that he do with steel. Steel now is the essence of everything. Right in this foundation, he got steel. All your cars, he got steel. Everything around him is filled with steel because Mr. Yakub gave birth to him by playing with steel. And they're still playing with steel right to today. All praise is due to Allah. They're still playing with steel right to today. Do y'all understand? But also, Mr. Yakub want to kill the darker and spare the lighter. Now he do the exact same thing in your society right now because it's his very nature. So the light-skinned ones, he push up in front, and the dark-skinned ones, he push to the back. Is that right? Up his little what's name? If you're black, get back. If you're brown, if you know, actually, it starts from the other way. He said, if you're white, you're all right. If you're yellow, you're sweet and mellow. If you're brown, I let you stick around. But if you're black, you gotta get back. He made that up. Do you understand? And he still today is doing the same thing that he did with under Mr. Yakub. Now, I'm going to prove to you that Mr. Yakub's history is right and exact. One word that you can find of his teachers to be wrong. One word. And Brother Keith will lay down his head. Since now Elijah Muhammad is not on the scene, I am willing to lay, I ain't got no $100,000, but I am willing to lay my head down also on the chopping block. One word. Now look what he said. He said Mr. Yakub died at 150 years of age. But his work continued. The full 600 years, 450 years more. See, we lived a lot longer back then. 150 was child's play. You get 70 and that's supposed to be a lot. But Mr. Yakub died, but for 450 years more, his work continued. And there on the Isle of Pelon, they were grafting and producing. So if you go there now, the ancient ruins, they're crematoriums. From the millions of babies, the thousands of babies that were burned. Right now, those ancient ruins, no one knows what they are. But when Brother Akbar went over there and seen them having the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he began to tell the people what they were. And they were all amazed at how he had such insight into what was going on there. All of this based upon the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Go there now, and you will find the ruins that I'm talking about as proof that something went on that island for nearly 600 years. Go there now, Mr. Archaeologist, Mr. Researcher, and you will find it right there. Mr. Yakub, ultimately his people, he produced the white race by controlled genetic breeding of the recessive germ. Now, Mr. Mendel, you heard of Mendel's law? I told you all about it. Y'all looked it up. Mendel's law says that inside of every human being, there's two germs. We already knew it. He said the dominant and the recessive. He said the dominant produces dark skin, dark eyes, dark hair. And it produces a lot of other things. He says the recessive produces light eyes, light skin, light hair. He says, and generally a weaker physical constitution. That's why can't nobody beat us. Because the black man is dominant. You're not going to beat us at nothing. Not when we're on our game. Nobody can beat us. Because we are the